Hello, back again with another video on C Sharp, and the focus of this video is going to be loop. So I'm going to talk about while loop, do while loop, and for loop. There's another loop called for each loop. I will talk about that later, maybe another video. So let's start with while loop. So what while loop is you have some kind of a condition and you wanted to do something as long as the condition is true. So in that case, this is the while loop I have here. It is very simple while loop. So what it is doing is actually it has number. We have number which is 0, and this one is actually this is the condition. It could either be true or false. So if number is less than 10, that is true. When it's 0, number is definitely less than 10. We will write on the screen saying the number. We'll just print out the number on the screen, and then we increase the value of number by 1. This is actually number equal to number plus 1. In first iteration, it is 0, and when it gets here, it will be 1. And this while loop is this thing right inside the while loop. It keeps executing as long as this condition right here, as long as this condition is true, this will keep executing. So that means every time it executes, it will increase the value of number by 1. So this whole loop will execute 10 times, right? Because this these statement inside the while loop, they will execute as long as this condition is true. So since we're starting from 0 and we're adding 1 each time, so this has to be executed 10 times. So we're gonna see that on output right here, start. So if you scroll up, so it's a while loop, so it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So we're starting from 0 to 9 is altogether 10 times. So that's how the while loop is executing. We're gonna cancel and go back to another loop. We have do while loop. It's kind of the same like a while loop, but the difference is if you read the comment I have here, it says the do loop execute the condition after the loop has executed, which makes sure that the code block is always executed at least once. In our case, we in while loop, we execute the code and we get back to while and we check the condition. If it's false, we don't execute, we're out of loop. But in do while loop, what we do is this is actually do while loop, this one right here. So it looks similar to while loop, but the major difference is in this case we're executing this statement block first, and then we're checking condition, and this will make sure that the code block is executed at least once. So to make sure, if you want to make sure your code block is executed at least once, in that case you want to go with do while instead of while loop. So the loop is doing the same thing. In our case, we have the variable called number3, and that is 0, and we have do. Inside do, we have this to statement. So what we're doing, we're printing out the number3, that is 0 right now, and then we're adding 1 to it. So it will execute, this do while will execute at first, and then it will keep executing until this condition is true. So as long as the number is less than 10, it will execute. So we're starting from 0 and we're adding 1 at a time. So that means the do while loop will execute altogether 10 times from 0 to 9. So they're doing the same thing, but the only difference is if you want to make sure that your code block is executed at least once, you go with do while instead of while loop. So now we have another loop, for loop. So this is this is for loop. You can either have a curly bracket here just to make sure. Okay, this one makes more sense. So this is for loop. We have what are the cases you want to use the for loop? If you know how many times you want to go through the loop, in that case you will use the for loop. And if you don't know the number of iteration that you will be going through the loop, in that case you want to go with either while loop or do while loop. For this case, we know how many times we want to go through the iteration. We want to go through the iteration exactly 10 times. That's the value of number 2. So I have for loop starting here for integer I equal to 0. That means we have another number called I, and that is 0. And the first statement is, we call them declaration. This is declaration of integer. And then second, you see this semicolon. After semicolon, we have second statement, that is conditional statement. This will either be true or false. That means when I is equal to 0, it is less than 10 because number 2 is 10. That is true. And then I plus plus is exactly, I plus plus is, let me comment that here, I plus plus is same as I equal to I plus 1. So it means we're increasing 1 at a time. We're increasing the value of I by 1 at a time. So, and then we're printing that value of I inside the loop. So this value of I, this will be printed 10 times. Why it will be printed 10 times? Because we're increasing 1 at a time. So we declare I equal to 0, and we'll check the condition if I is less than 10 or not. If it is less than 10, we'll increase the I by 1 and print out the statement. And then we go back again. So this time the value of I is 1. So I is less than 10, it's still true. We're gonna check, we're gonna increase 1. So this will keep happening until this get false. What if you take this off from your statement? Let's see what happens. If I take this off, it will just keep iterating forever, and we call them infinity loop, like infinite loop. It will never stop. Well, you end up crashing, but that's not a good practice. So we're just gonna have we need to have termination in our loop. This is the termination statement or the condition. So let's see how it works. So I'm gonna start. So we have 0 through 9 for while loop, and then for do while loop we also have 0 through 9, and for loop we also have 0 through 9. So it looks like everything is working fine. So in conclusion, if you know how many times you want to iterate your loop, you go with for loop. If you don't know the number of time you will be iterating loop, but it will depends on some kind of condition, you go with either while loop or do while loop. And if you want to execute your code, the block of code at least once, then you go with do while. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys, and this is it for today, and thanks for watching.